All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. We're talking the game, get you through the days. Behind the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. Sport, all plays, they work in your faces. Grace at the field, so time to laces. All sports, all plays.
Oh, I can't see myself. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and ladies, welcome to another rendition of the Sports Senseis. I'm your girl sensei, per usual, and I got my lovely co-host here, Jay Nicole, as per usual. How are you doing today, Sistren?
I am back and ready to roll, and let's get
missed you. We missed you so much. We missed your energy and your vibe. So it's so good to have you back. We're gonna hold it down for our good sis Ruth, but we have a short show for you this week, but we got an action-packed show for you this week. And my sister got the hat on. She cocked it to the back. Like, what's the vibes today, sis? Like, what are the vibes today? What are the vibes?
You know, well, here's the thing. You know, later on Sports by the Numbers, also on ASAP Work Network, we got John Brown, wide receiver for the Tampa Bay Bucks. So you know I gotta represent, right? You gotta represent. I gotta represent. You know, I'm trying to get it straight. I'm a little bit to the side. Hey, we're gonna get it. But cool. But yeah, so I'm excited, ready to roll with you. Let's get it.
Let's do it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight into these topics so we can get this show on the road here. So the first thing I wanted to discuss here is the new look 76ers. We got James Harden, we got Joel Embiid, and I mean the past two games they haven't played against really stiff competition, but they've gotten two good warm-up games. I'll say that. And just from what we can see from the warm-up games, the chemistry seems to be clicking. They seem to be pretty happy to be teammates. James looks slender. He looks in shape. He looks inspired again. He looks like he's ready to be MVP James again. Like it's a completely different guy that we saw that was in Brooklyn just a few short weeks ago. So what do we think about the chemistry between Joel and James Harden? Is this something that is sustainable? Like, is this something that's going to last down the season and later on in the future, or is it just James just being happy for right now, and then if something goes astray, then is he going to pull the same thing he pulled with Houston and Brooklyn? Like, what are we thinking? What's the chemistry like for the 76ers right now?
I say that look good, right? I think they look good. I think James, like you said, he in shape. He like, cool, I'm ready to do what 76ers do. I know this is Joel's team. I'm going to come in, play hard, do my role. Like, again, if he's in his if James Harden's in his top shape and can do what he's a top 10 player in the NBA for sure. So I feel like he's coming in, knowing his position, knowing his role and what he needs to do. And so as the more games they play together, they continue to gel. I think they can go far in the Eastern Conference. So I like the move, Harden being a baby, but I hated him on the Nets. Let's really be real. Like, I don't like Kyrie. I don't like Kevin Durant. So I didn't hate James Harden, but the fact that he went to go join Kyrie and Kevin Durant was like, eh. So I'm actually really happy with this move. I think it's good. Him and Joel can be the two superstars, Let's just have two main dudes. On the Nets, you was trying to do too much with the three of y'all. Like, I think Joel and him, Ben Simmons gone now. I feel like they can go far into the Eastern Conference. I'm gonna shout this out real quick. I'm Chi-Town girl, so I want my Bulls to take number one. But yeah, I'm impressed with this move. I like the new look 76ers.
I like them as well, and I think that. Sorry, I'm looking up something really quick. So I like them as well. I just think that. I don't want to jump the gun too soon as far as how great they are or could potentially end up being. I want to give them time to kind of gel and kind of mesh a little bit, and I want to see them against a contending team because that's the ultimate test. Like I said, right now they played against the Timberwolves and the Knicks, both two teams that aren't the greatest. I mean, the Timberwolves aren't terrible. They have a pretty decent squad, but they're pretty young still. They're still trying to figure things out. The Knicks are obviously the Knicks. So, but I mean, even with that, like it was still a close game towards the end. And the Sixers were eventually able to pull away. So I want to see them against a team like the Nets or a team like the Suns or a team like Golden, like the Bucks or Golden State or even the Bulls. You know, like I want to see them against those teams, and I want to see how they fare against those teams, because that, like I said, that right there is the ultimate test. But it is early; they've only played 2 games together. But what I've seen from them so far, is they have potential to be a really good tandem. However, I want us to pump the brakes on something for a second, because I saw an article today that was like, "Oh, James Harden and Joel Embiid could be the next Kobe and Shaq." Please relax. Like, let's everybody take a breather. I think everybody's a little excited, a little anxious. You know, it's starting to get a little warmer outside, so everybody's on edge.
Whoa.
I think we need to just relax for a second. I don't know what that person was smoking when they said that, but it was like it has to be pretty strong. Like, maybe you should put that out, because that's blasphemous. Like,
hold on. What was this? Where did you read this at? Like, you need to see
I read,
the article, because
I'm gonna have to find it again. Matter of fact, I was looking for it and I couldn't find it, but I'll have to find it again, because I literally saw somebody said it has the potential to be the next. And I was like, do you understand that we didn't even know that Kobe and Shaq were gonna be Kobe and Shaq until a couple of years after they got together? Like, it wasn't like immediate, like they were just dominating the league. Like, it took some time for them to grow and then eventually become what they became. But come on now, just because like they can throw, James can throw a lob and Joel Embiid can dunk it, is all of a sudden they're Kobe and Shaq. Like, let's not get
calm down, pump the brakes. Like, first of all, I am a Lakers fan. Okay, I was I would say low-key obsessed with Shaq when I was a kid. Like, I had Orlando Magic sheets. I had his plaques on the wall. I always right now can't remember why I loved him so much, but probably because he was ripping down rims and shattering glasses and stuff. So when he went to LA, I went to LA. And that's when that Shaq and Kobe dynamic, I was in high school when they won them 3 championships. Shout out to my boy Deontay. We've been friends since preschool. That was our team. So when you say, because Shaq and Kobe comparison, whoa. Don't get slapped, bro. Don't get slapped. You're talking crazy. Like you said, straight blasphemy. Don't utter that again. Don't type that out. Don't even, whoa. James Harden is James Harden, and Joel Embiid is Joel Embiid. They not even what are this? I'm gonna act like I didn't hear that, Sensei. I'm gonna act like you didn't just say that minutes ago.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't mean to upset you, but I saw it and I felt like I had to just put it out there in the universe so that we all don't get it confused and we don't get this misconstrued that no, we got to stop. We have to stop being this prisoner of the moment mentality has to stop in sports. One of these days we're going to do an episode on just that alone, because there's so much of that, especially now with like millennial or Gen Z, not even just millennials, just Gen Z and all that. And it's just like they see something happen more than once and it's like, oh, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And it's like, no, babe, like you got to slow down. Like that's not how it works at all. No. So I want to do like a study on that as to why that is, because it just always blows my mind when I see stuff like that. I'm like, for real? Like, are y'all serious? Did y'all ever watch Kobe and Shaq play? Because clearly you didn't. But yeah, so that's what I'll say about them. So I want to go ahead and jump into the next topic here. Now, what's interesting, because we're kind of jumping into something different, but we're kind of staying on the same topic as well, because it's still James Harden related. Now, recently Kyrie Irving had a couple press conferences after their last few games where they subtly asked him about the James Harden trade, and they asked him head on also about the James Harden trade. Now, when they asked him subtly, he kind of threw some shots at James a little bit, and he said essentially what he was saying is that he felt like everybody that was currently on the Nets right now is that they want to be there and they're willing to sacrifice. And the key word that I took from his dissertation, he said a couple sentences. I was trying to find it verbatim, but it wasn't working with me. But so basically, essentially, like I said, what I took from that was the sacrifice part of it, because I feel like, of course, he's gonna deny and say it wasn't about James Harden, but I personally feel like it was, because we all know that there's been reports of those two not really seeing eye to eye, not getting along. James kind of feeling slighted, being that Kyrie is only there part time. All of these different dynamics that are that factored into James Harden ultimately ended up requesting a trade and making sure that he got traded. So, do you think that Kyrie saying those comments is him taking shots at James, or is he just pretty much just trying to speak like bolster up his team basically?
Kyrie's a punk. We know
Oh,
how he took
okay.
shots at LeBron, saying, "Oh, Kevin Durant's the first teammate I had where I knew if I passed him the ball, he would make the shot." Kyrie's a punk. Okay, he want to talk stuff. I mean, I know him and Hardy got into it on a team, but he a punk for that. Just, you know what? James Harden went on. We wish you good luck, brother, over there with the 76ers, and keep it moving. Why you out here firing shots? You don't need to do that. People over firing shots on you, but like that it just takes me back to how he tried to play LeBron. Like, bro, you were on the Cavaliers by yourself, not doing nothing, not making the playoffs or nothing. Y'all can all say, oh, well, he's the one who hit the shot. But, let's talk about LeBron who blocked the, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, like, no, Kyrie's a punk. I don't like him. I don't like Durant. So go ahead and be on the Nets. And I hope the Bucks beat you. I hope the Bulls beat you. Heck, I hope James Harden and Embiid come back and beat you. So just, man, Kyrie, shut up, bro. Go get vaccinated and be quiet. Like, what was he trying to do? A veggie vaccination? What was it?
Yeah, vegan vaccination.
What, bro? Go sit down. Go play. Do you still want to be in the NBA? I don't know. I can't tell. Why don't you retire already? No.
Yeah.
Kyrie's a punk. I'm sorry. That's no respect for him at all.
Yeah, I think the thing that I don't feel as strongly about Kyrie as you do, but even though I'm a LeBron girl as well, but my thing with Kyrie is this: don't throw rocks and hide your hand, because he says this, and then the next, literally the next press conference was, well, I just want everybody to be happy. No, sir. Like I said, don't throw rocks and hide your. My mom always used to preach that. Don't throw rocks and hide your hand. If you said something, say that you said it. Stand firm in it. Like, this is what I said. This is what I believe, and that's just what it is. You have to stand up in that, and that's the problem with Kyrie in a lot of the situations that he's in. He doesn't want to stand up in the things that he says and that he believes in. And that's, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can believe in, I'm not even saying that I disagree with everything he believes in or everything that he said. It's just, I disagree with the backpedaling of it. When people start to criticize you, then it's, oh, let's not make it this big thing. And, oh, you guys are over exaggerating. And, oh, you guys are making it bigger than what it has to be. No, we're taking what you said for face value, and instead of, you elaborating on whatever you meant, you kind of give these blanketed answers, and then once we kind of pick it apart, then it's, oh, we're doing too much, or we as media are doing too much. No, sir. Like, you need to explain exactly what you meant. If you didn't mean that, then don't say it. You're a grown man. You're a pretty articulate man, if you know what I'm saying, at that. So I know you know how to say what it is that you know what I'm saying, say that what it is that you feel. Like, you brought up the issues he had with LeBron. It was the same thing with LeBron when he said that, and it was like, oh, you guys are trying to put me against my brother, and no, sir. You said you played with one of the greatest players of all time and won a ring with that guy, bar none. You said verbatim out of your mouth that this is the first time you felt like you could pass to a teammate and he could do exactly what you do. What do you think that says about the one of the greatest players of all time that you ever played with, the only person that you've gotten a championship with? What do you think that says about him? Because you're when you say something like that, to me you're totally disregarding everything you and LeBron did. Yep. Because you're basically saying that guy was cool, but he couldn't do what this guy can do.
Yep.
And it's like, granted, LeBron isn't the scorer that KD is. It's not to say that he couldn't be, but he's not the scorer that KD is. Not a lot of people are. Even Kyrie ain't. But to try to insinuate that LeBron can't do what KD does as far as like knocking down. Come on, man. We didn't see Bron miss game-winning shots, but we've also seen Bron make quite a few game-winning shots. Let's not do that. So, yeah, like I said, I mean, I didn't have a problem with the comments. I just wish, like I said, he would just stand up and say, yeah, I said it. Like, I don't think, he was willing to sacrifice for the betterment of the team. I disagree with how the situation was handled, and that's that. Don't try to, politically correct it after you've already thrown it out there. Stand up in that, I don't. Now, do you agree with what he said? Do you, as far as the first part of the comments, as far as the whole sacrificing and wanting to be in Brooklyn, do you agree with that part? Do you think that was the case for James Harden?
James Harden just knew he didn't want to be a Rocket no more, and he wanted to compete for a championship. And so, okay, let me go to Brooklyn. Let me go to the Eastern Conference where nobody, clearly the East is easier than the West, right? And so let me go play with these two good players and try to get the championship. I want a ring. Don't matter how good I am. No matter it don't mean a thing without the ring, right? But Kyrie, bro, like, I can't, there's nothing I could say except he's a punk, and I don't care for him. We talked earlier when we first started the show about him. Like, do you even really want to play basketball anymore? Is it a passion? Is this, you're on your whole other stuff that you always be talking about and doing? I don't know. But anyways, I agree with James Harden being in 76ers. Kyrie, you keep playing right now. Durant coming back when you or whatever. I don't know. I don't care about the New Jersey Nets. That's how I really feel. I don't. I don't know, like
she's like I'm tired of talking about.
Exactly. Let's talk about the Bulls. Let's talk about the Bucks. Who else? We can talk about 76ers some more. Who else is relevant in the Eastern Conference?
Yeah, we could. Let's talk about. Okay, Raptors, so since you brought up, I had one more Nets related topic, but we'll skip over that. So let's talk about the Bulls for a second, because DeMar DeRozan, should he be the MVP this year? Because that's the conversation right now that a lot of people are having, is that if he's not, if not being in the MVP race, that he should just be the MVP, because he has been playing extremely well and at an extremely high level this year. So, matter of fact, who do you even have for your MVP?
Ooh, well, now that you're brought up DeMar, here's the thing. If LeBron could win it every year, you know where I'm going to King James. But
that's right.
I am very, very, very impressed. I'm LA all day, baby. Next week I'm about to cover, the Lakers Spurs game. Super excited for that. As a media member, right? But I love what DeMar's doing. I love the energy he brought. Seen as somebody who just, I'm in San Antonio, right? He just left the Spurs. Spurs appreciate everything he did. I went to that game, the Bulls versus Spurs, but Spurs showed out. They took that. They got the win. But DeMar, I just love what he's doing. The fire, the passion. I felt like although he played hard for the Spurs, it broke his heart when the Raptors traded him. It really did.
And he never really recovered from that. Yeah,
exactly. But now he got to go to the Bulls where he wants. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a different vibe. It's a different walk. It's a different energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, like it just is. And I'm excited for him and seeing what he's doing. How many game winners, buzzer beaters? Like, go, bro, go. So I'm gonna say right now, right here, DeMar DeRozan MVP. You got my vote, baby. You are my Chicago. Okay. That's the home team, right? So we always got our favorite team, right? But Sensei, that's our home team, right? Like, we, what I'm saying? That's the home team. So, like, you always have your favorite team, but you always gonna show love to the home team. You are. You always are. So I would love to see a Lakers versus Bulls NBA Finals. I can't be mad at whoever wins, all right? I can't be mad at that.
It's been a while since we had one of those.
Come on, Chicago, LA, take it back to what was that, 92? Magic, Jordan, right?
Was it 91?
91? I think it was 91. Yeah, 91.
Yeah, it was
91. Yeah, so take it. Let me see what they do. A
little nostalgia for the old heads out there.
Yeah, let's go get it. So whoever wins,
Yeah, that would be honestly, that'd be interesting. I think for me, my MVP race is going to be definitely DeMar DeRozan, as well as Joel Embiid. I think you definitely got to put Embiid in there, just because Embiid has been playing insane even before James Harden arrived. Like, even with all the Ben Simmons drama, like, he's kept Philly afloat literally by himself, like pretty much put them on his back and was like, y'all coming with me. So you gotta definitely consider him as well for the MVP race. But for me, it comes down to those two. It comes down to DeMar DeRozan and as well as Joel Embiid. Now, some people are, I can't even say some people, let me rephrase that. Warrior fans are saying that Stephen Curry deserves to be a part of the MVP race. What do you before I give my answer, what do you think?
You can't never be mad at Steph Curry. I mean, the man is he is who he is, right? And to have I'm glad the Warriors were bad for the couple seasons ago where they were really, really bad. I'm glad. It definitely humbled them, right? Like, look, it humbled y'all. Like, injuries can happen to anybody. Anybody can be played. Like, it humbled them. I mean, they had like the worst record at the time. You know what I'm saying? So, I think they needed to go through that. I think the way they bounced back, they got Clay back, right? Splash Brothers. I'm not mad at hearing. I'm not mad at hearing Steph Curry's name in the conversation. I'm not mad at that. Like, respect that man, respect his talent. I ain't never gonna cheer for the Warriors. Just won't do it. Can't do it. They was going against my Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron James, King James. I can't never get with him. I can't never cheer for the Warriors ever because the team that beat my team is my enemy. You know how I feel about that, Sensei. You know,
absolutely.
How I feel about that. But Steph Curry as a player, I mean, he changed the game. He's the 3-point line, half court. I mean, it's all about the threes nowadays, right? So I can never be mad with his name in the conversation. I'm not gonna be mad at that. And what you said about Joel, too, like, yeah, of course he was in the. I mean, before you even brought up DeMar right now, I was like, okay, Joel, everybody been Joel, but I just would love to see DeMar get it. But I'm never mad at Steph Curry's name being in the conversation.
Okay. I'm glad that you gave the nice politically correct answer.
PC answer.
Because you smooth the folks over for what I'm about to say.
Go ahead.
Listen.
Go ahead, get on them. Go ahead.
Listen. I am as Shannon Sharp would say, I am a Bron James fan. Okay.
Woo! Come on.
Tried and true. Through and through, like that's just what it is. Okay, so I've seen a lot of stuff. I've seen a lot of Stephen Curry, obviously because of who my favorite player is, and everybody knows that history. So I've seen enough of Steph that I feel like I can say certain things in certain ways. Here's the thing, right? I will never take away from Steph's greatness. I would never pretend like he didn't change the game, like you said, because you'd be a fool to say that. He's definitely. Everybody has to have a half court shot. You got to be able to shoot it from. You have to have a consistent enough 3-point shot to even contend. Offenses are now predicated around the 3-point shot. A lot of teams are trying to follow that Warriors blueprint of being able to spread the offense and having multiple shooters. So, like I said, Steph's influence and impact on the game unspoken, unsaid, like everybody knows, like that's the most obvious thing in the world. And I even enjoy watching Steph play, believe it or not. Like, as much as I love Bron, I do enjoy watching Steph, because to be able to shoot the basketball the way that he does and be so effective in other areas of the game, as far as like move, I think the most impressive part about him being such a great shooter is his movement without the ball, for him to create the space to get open to shoot like that. Those are the threes that are exciting to me, as well as like when he breaks the defense down, and he has a definitely underrated handle. I don't know why people don't talk about him more in that category, but like I said, I enjoy watching him. However, we have to start classifying. Like, there needs to be more of a clear-cut definition of what an MVP is.
Ooh,
because if we do have a clear-cut definition of what an MVP is, and we laid down the facts and said this is what makes you an MVP and this is what doesn't make you an MVP, Steph's not going to win a lot of MVPs. Here's why. Steph is an incredible shooter. Like the greatest. Everybody has dubbed him the greatest shooter we've ever seen for the last 5 years, and you are not. Nobody is wrong about that. Like, that's the most factual thing I think I've ever heard. Like that, like 10 out of 10, highly recommend. Greatest shooter of all time. However, greatest shooter does not equate to greatest player, and the MVP award is most valuable player. It is not most valuable shooter. It's not MVS. It's MVP. It's not most valuable shooter. So, and here's another thing too that people have to consider as well. When you are a great shooter or even a good shooter and you shoot at a high clip like Steph does, there's an opportunity that you're going to go cold at a higher clip too. Like, that fire is going to burn out at some point, because at some point you're going to have a slump. Steph's had a few slumps this season. Like, there was games where he was shooting like 1 of 10 and like some crazy numbers. Even for him, like I said, greatest shooter of all time, but he still has gone on these extended slumps. What helps him, what keeps him afloat, is they have other guys in plays that when he's lacking, they can pick up the slack and they can still be a good team. They can still beat the really good teams. It's real easy to have a slump and you got Klay Thompson on the other wing, because if you're having an off night, chances are he's not having an off night. And Klay can get hot with the best of them. Klay, to me, is the second greatest shooter of all time because he can shoot just as good as Steph. He just doesn't get as many opportunities, obviously, but he can get just as hot. You know what I'm saying? He can fill it up just as much. Like we've seen, the same amount, the same games where Steph make 7 or 8 threes. Klay can do the exact same thing. The thing that separates Klay is he does, like I said, he doesn't get as many opportunities because Klay's also a defender. So, he doesn't have as much energy to run around as Steph to, get as many shots off as Steph. So if we're going to talk about most valuable player, Steph's not going to be in that category 9 times out of 10. Now, if you want to talk about most valuable, if you want to separate the categories and put greatest shooter and then best, sure, fine. I'm all for that. But don't tell me that that's the MVP just because he can shoot. Like I said, he's gone through slumps. He's gone through, spells where he's not shooting the ball well, but he has teammates that are able to keep that team afloat. So they're not in that position all solely because of him.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like if that makes sense, like they're not a top 5 team. I think they're like are they the number 1 seed right now? If they're not number 1, they got to be like number 2 or 3. Like they're in the top 5 for sure. But there are many games that they've won this season despite Steph. Like they've won certain games this season, you know what I'm saying, based off of pretty much being like, all right, bro, like you have an off night, you fall back, we got it. Like, okay, so somebody said that they're a second seed. So so
33 and 18 right now.
Okay, so boom. So they're the second seed. Perfect. That's even better. So that's what I'm saying. That they've won in spite of Steph multiple times this season. So you can't give him the MVP just off the strength of that being the reason, because like I said, that's not the sole reason that they're a number 2 seed is because of him. Like he doesn't put the Warriors on his back to like it ain't Steph or bust, basically, is what I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Basically, he could not do so right now when the team was horrible and was he injured a little bit? Either way, he's not LeBron, right? LeBron can't like
or even like
LeBron
come on,
kept the Cavaliers going to the championship every year because it was LeBron. Hey, when LeBron left Miami, they didn't even make the playoffs the next year. Right, he's not like he's a force to be reckoned with, but not you ain't on LeBron James caliber. You ain't carrying the whole team, putting them on their back. You alone as a superstar. No, he is not. You are
and that's my issue. Is like I said, I feel like people they combine the two. Like, okay, so this is the greatest person ever at this thing, so that automatically means they have to be MVP considered, or they just have to be foregone conclusion MVP. And I see somebody here say others have gotten MVP for strictly scoring. That's not the sole reason. Like that's a part of it. That's the highlight of it. Like that's what makes what jumps out at people is like, oh, this person is scoring 29.2 points a game. Like let me pay attention to him and see what's going on with him. But there's other factors that are factored in. It ain't just scoring. Like and if we take away Steph, take away his shooting ability, what else is he offering? He's not a great defender. He's actually picked on as far as defense because he's not a defender at all whatsoever. When he's not a good passer. Like he has those flashy passing moments, but if you really sit down and pit him against most guards or point guards, he's not in the top 5 in passing. He's not. So he doesn't offer you that. He's not somebody that's gonna get you a plethora of rebounds like a Kyrie or even like a Chris Paul. Like he's not hunting to get no rebounds. Like so, what else is he offering you besides scoring? And it is real easy for him to shoot at this, like I said, this high clip when they're up 20. If you notice when it gets tight. Matter of fact, you know what? That's another story. But I'm gonna save that part because I'll be here all night. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna save that for another episode. But those who know, because I've said this before on other ASAP shows, those who know, you know where I was going with that.
Ooh.
But that's another show for another day, sis. I don't want to.
Corey.
Yeah, I was finna fire some shots, but it's okay.
Right,
I'm gonna check.
I was scared like I was Steph. I was like, she's coming for his whole life. She ain't even coming for him just as a player. She's coming for his whole life. Steph, look out. I used to get your husband. Say coming for him. Get him, girl.
No, for real. I would leave it alone. But yeah, like let's come on, man. Like let's chill out. But I wanted to throw in, before we wrap it up, I did want to throw in just a quick NFL topic, really quick here. And then this will be our last topic for the night. So Odell Beckham had knee surgery.
Okay.
They haven't officially come out and say, nobody's from the Rams or anything has come out officially and said it's an ACL. Yeah. But I think we're all pretty much assuming that it's an ACL. Because it's a knee injury, so it's got to either be an ACL or MCL or something serious to where he's gonna have to be out for some time. So what does this do for him in free agency? Like, what does that be? It's because a lot of teams ain't gonna be looking to bust down the door for a guy who's as injury prone as Odell is, but I mean, and he's still. I mean, he just proved it last year. Like, he's still Odell Beckham, still extremely talented, still got some left in the tank. But he does have a long road of recovery ahead of him. So, what does that look like? What is his next step? What is his next move? Like, what can he do?
I still think, the Rams keep him, right? Like, he got the first touchdown in the Super Bowl. Give him a chance to get rehabbed and get better. Let's see, right? Give him this year, sign him to a 1-year contract. Let's see what happens with the knee. If he's, never going to be the same player again, cool. You sign him for 1 year, then you can get rid of him. I still say the Rams keep him. He clearly wants to be a Ram. It's not about the money for him. Like, y'all, give him a chance, man. He came up. He wasn't washed. He showed up and showed out for y'all. He came in the season to play. Again, first touchdown of the Super Bowl. And if he wouldn't have got hurt, who knows? Maybe he would have been the MVP versus Cooper Kupp. So I think they give him a year, sign him to a year contract, keep him, see what happens, with the surgery, and then just kind of go from there.
I agree. I think that he should get another opportunity with the Rams. I think the Rams do want him back. It's obvious that he wants to it's obvious that he wants to come back to the Rams. He's made that very clear. LA is a perfect place for a guy like Odell. He's big city. He just is. Like, he can't do small markets. That's not, even though he's calmed down a lot and he's matured a lot and he's not really as out there as he was before. He's just one of those people that's made for a big city. He doesn't bode well for small markets. Like, he's a marketing genius. Like, he has to be in that big city, like the bright lights and just all of those things that comes with being in a big city. Like, Odell needs something like that. And if they could somehow make it work as far as contract wise, like I said, I know he's mentioned before that he would take less money to stay with the Rams. If they can work that out, I say why not? Because he played incredible for them, and given that he came in literally the back half of the season and was able to ingratiate himself the way that he was and be as effective as he was, nobody was expecting Odell to ball out the way that he did. Like, he looked like New York Giants Odell. Like, he was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't even a number one receiver. He was the second option, but still, every opportunity that was thrown his way, he made something happen. Like, he didn't waste a single opportunity with the Rams. So I think that they definitely should bring him back. I think I wish him the best in the rehab, and hopefully he doesn't have to rehab or be out for too long. Because I want the Rams to get back to the Super Bowl for the simple fact that I want him to be able to give us a full Super Bowl game, the one that we pretty much are all anticipating he was going to have.
You say you want them to get back to the Super Bowl? Hey, they got
absolutely.
One. That's all they need. I want you to play for the Rams. I don't know. Yeah, I ain't get back all the way to the Super Bowl.
Let him get, man.
Playoff games to the back.
He deserves to be able to play a full Super Bowl game. He got robbed the opportunity to play a full game
First touchdown. He took it. First touchdown at the Super Bowl. Hey. He got that. He always had that in his heart. He got the ring. You remember.
Jay's being a hater right now, guys. But
hey, all them Cowboys fans out there, like, yeah, we going to Super Bowl this year or next year. All them Chicago Bears fans, like, hey, look, I don't know who. Actually, hold on. I ain't even mad at the Rams going back to Super Bowl. I wouldn't be mad at that because I don't really got nobody. I mean, Cowboys are my NFC team now. I live in Texas, but you know what, Rams? The Kansas City Chiefs will see you in the Super Bowl, but you're not gonna win. You're not gonna win.
We got an early Super. Is that an early Super Bowl prediction, J. Nicole? An exclusive early Super Bowl prediction by D1 and only J. Nicole?
Every year, baby, we gonna get another one. So as long as we got Patty Mahomes, and we got Travis Kelce, and we got Tyreek Hill, we gonna make the Super Bowl. Yeah. So and yeah, now that Brady retired for the NFC, now that Brady retired with the Bucs in the NFC, okay, Rams, y'all can get back there, but y'all gonna meet my Chiefs, and we gonna do what we do in Las Vegas next year. Come on. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see. Y'all heard J. Nicole. We gonna see. We gonna see.
We go there.
She's talking pretty big here, so we go.
You gotta go hard for your team every time. That's what you do. That's a true fan.
I want all of our